Okay, it's time for Wine, Music, and Games, episode 49. This time, we've got a great red wine. Then we'll talk a little bit about aging wines. We've got an awesome album that has just been re-released in a deluxe box set, as well as a cool game that is a cousin, if you will, to a really great game that we talked about before. Stay tuned. So how you doing, honey bunch?
Good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm sitting next to a beautiful woman. We're talking about things that we love. This is great. All right, remember, subscribe and hit the bell, and then you'll be notified every week when a new episode hits the YouTube channels. All right, Shell, what do we got?
Well, we have a lovely Nebbiolo from 2012 from Gossamer Cellars. This is normally a grape varietal that's from Italy.
Yeah.
But there are some really great winemakers doing work with this grape here in California. Yeah. And Gary from Gossamer, we're members at the winery because we really like his wines. The Nebbiolo is delicious.
Yeah.
It's got, stone fruit, plums, raspberries, all kinds of good things that you would expect from a red wine.
Yeah.
Nebbiolo
is kind of a medium body wine, and
so it goes well with fish or meat or just even maybe vegetarian food, right? It's very good.
Now this is a 2012, so an older vintage, and one of the things that you can do with reds, as of course those of you who love wine know, is lay it down and it changes. The wine changes, and so when we opened this, it was like,
good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we put aside some of the Gossamer reds and hold on to them and just kind of forget about them for a while and then pull them out as we go forward. And we've done that with a few types of wines, but this was really nice to experience. And
it was beautiful.
Lay down and age your wines a little bit. If you buy a case of something you really like, put 2 or 3 in the back of the wine fridge.
It's really hard to do if you really like it because maybe it's at its peak as well.
Right.
But for reds... And if they're quality reds, they can age for a while.
Right, exactly. Now, I've talked about this band in terms of music before, and their second album, which was a tough album for them to do, Marillion's Fugazi. This has just been released. It's the last of the albums they've put out in a deluxe box set. I, of course, had it already on vinyl. I really love all of the artwork that I think it's Mark Wilkinson does for the band. There's a lot of, it's a full decked out art with different references to things that are going on with the band and in the songs and so on. This is 7 songs, neo-progressive rock, and some people say you have to get used to Fish's voice, but I still think this is a great album. And Marillion's still around. I mean, we're going to maybe try to go to, they have a Marillion weekend. We're going to maybe try to go to Portugal.
I know.
Next June. We'll see if that happens. Because Steve Hogarth...
We've traveled to see them before.
Yes, we have. We've traveled to England. We've traveled
We were there, but we made a special trip to go to us,
Yeah, exactly. And then we traveled from, we were down south and we traveled up to Washington, D.C. to see them once. This is all when Steve Hogarth now is with the band. And he is fantastic as well as a singer. He's now been with the band a lot longer than Fish was with the band.
Yeah.
But I still love classic Marillion, but also love many of the albums that they have done since Fish left the band. So again, Fugazi, Marillion, out now, and all of its albums are out. All of the 4 Fish albums are out in deluxe box sets, and really worth your time if you are a Marillion fan. All right. So then the game now is kind of a little cousin to one that had come out earlier. This is called Trails. This is by Henry Audubon from Keymaster Games, and is literally a smaller cousin to Parks, which was a previous game, which had its own expansion. But Trails here takes some of that idea where you are moving your, in this case, just a single hiker down a trail and actually going out and back, unlike Parks where you just go to the end of the line. And the out and back happens, and you do that multiple times, and you're getting little badges and so on, but it's still a resource collection game where you are then spending those resources to achieve these badges and that are cards
that are visible to everybody at the end of each trail, so you kind of know what you're working towards or what you might be working towards on the way back. And you have one in your hand too, always. So if you play that at the end, you'll get a new one. So it really does have that kind of Boy Scout, Girl Scout type of thing. It's a very family friendly. Yeah, you got to get your badges. Very family friendly game. Yeah, we really enjoyed it.
2 to 4 players. Yeah. And it, again, just like Parks, though I think Parks is even more blinged out and really beautiful. This one has some beautiful artwork, and that just takes it up a notch. All right, honey, let's talk about that wine again.
This is a Nebbiolo from Gossamer Cellars from Sierra Foothills.
And Gossamer Cellars now, they are really doing amazing wines. We've talked about them in the past, but Gary's all about exploring different varietals, and so it's very cool when he,
so we get to try things that, many of them we've had many of the different types of varietals, but some we haven't. Yeah. And some then become one of our favorites.
Exactly. Right? And Marillions Fugazi, their second album with Fish, really solid album. A little bit up and down, but some, with Jigsaw and the title track and Incubus, great stuff on this album. And then finally, Trails, which I do believe is a Target exclusive at this point, but really worth tracking down and a fun little game to pull out on the table. All right, that'll do it for this week. We hope you guys are having an amazing week. Take care of yourselves. Remember, subscribe. You can sponsor us on patreon.com/GarrettsGames, and we look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Have a great week. Bye.